So I've added it to cook today. All you need to do is select My Week and your recipe is there ready to go. Here you can scroll through the recipe, look at the ingredients, preparation, hints and tips, and then all you need to select is Start Cooking and follow the on-screen step-by-step instructions. And it's as simple as that, so let's start cooking.
All right, so that's a very, very brief overview of what Cookidoo is. And often when I talk to people about Cookidoo, what I'll say is Cookidoo is a little bit like Netflix for recipes. So you have an annual subscription and you then have access to, I think at the moment we're on about 82,000 recipes from all over the world. And those recipes.
No, I'm wrong.
We've got somebody who's off mute. Let me just mute them quickly. There we go. So those recipes are recipes from all over the world, and you are actually able to cook those recipes by guided cooking right off of the screen of your Thermomix. So that's the overview. Tonight we are going to be talking about Cookidoo 3.0, which is the latest version of Cookidoo. And some of the features of Cookidoo 3.0 is that you are able to import recipes from approved websites only, and we will talk about that a little bit more later. We also are able to create our own recipes and adapt existing Cookidoo recipes. So tonight there are 4 things that we're going to run through for you, and I have 4 amazing team leaders here with me to actually assist. So the first thing that we're going to show you is actually how to import a recipe from an existing website. Cookidoo 3.0 enables us to import recipes from the recipe community. So the recipe community, recipecommunity.com.au, is a website where Thermomix owners can actually upload recipes or adapted recipes that they use and they love. And you are able to import directly from that website. Now, the important thing to remember, guys, Cookidoo recipes, they are triple tested in our recipe development kitchen. So you know that every recipe is absolutely foolproof. With the recipe community, we at Thermomix don't actually test them. So I do encourage you to read the comments in those recipes to get a feel for whether they are actually worth importing into Cookidoo 3.0. So I have Hayley Berenson, who is one of my Waikato team leaders, who's going to help us with this. Just talking about the recipe community, this is in New Zealand at the moment, the only website that we are able to import recipes off of. There are over 20,000 recipes on there, though, that you can use for guided cooking on your TM6 screen. Now, before we head over to Hayley and we let her demonstrate that for us, if you're a TM5 owner, never despair. You can still access those functions of Cookidoo 3.0 on your app or on your desktop version. No, you can't use them on the screen of your device, but you are still able to see those recipes and then cook them by manual cooking. So Hayley, let's go over to you. And I would love for you just to talk to us a little bit about importing from the recipe community. So I'm just going to find you quickly and add you. Yeah. Oh, there's so many people on tonight. There she is. It helps if you wave your hand around.
Yeah.
Here we go. Welcome, Hayley.
Thank you.
First of all, can you just tell me how long you have been with Thermomix?
I have been with Thermomix just on 2 years now, 2 years this month. So I joined at the end of lockdown and was joining to earn my Thermomix and never left. So, you know, like a lot of them, I got converted to the crazy Thermomix family and I love everyone. And yeah, I couldn't live without it now. So
excellent. So tell me about the recipe that you are going to be importing. I'll let you share your screen and show us.
So I'll share screen. So what I'm going to import today is this beetroot dip. Now I have made this one before and it is delicious. It's also perfect for me to show you guys because it's only like 2 steps and only a small amount of ingredients. So what the recipe community has done, which makes life really, really simple, is they've actually added this add to Cookidoo button. So all you need to do is click on that button, and it's going to open up your Cookidoo and ask you to confirm. And we'll just select on that. And what you're going to see is it's going to populate all the information from the recipe community straight into your Cookidoo there. Excuse me. So it automatically pops the ingredients in, and then it pops the steps in. Now, one thing to note is this recipe community recipe that I chose, she put this recipe on here quite nicely. These are already placed in steps. However, some recipes, people will literally put all the steps under number 1. And if you do choose to import a recipe that has that, when you convert it to Cookidoo, they are all going to be under number 1, and you will need to separate those steps out. So that's just something to take into note and when you're converting those recipes. So what you want to do to be able to make this guided on your Thermomix is, I just need to move my little screen out of the way. Push the edit button, which is just a little pencil. So we click on that. We don't need to touch the ingredients at this stage because I'm happy with the ingredients that are there. So what we're going to do is create those guided steps. So the first thing we have is where it says place the beetroot, cucumber and cream cheese. Those are where we need to have those weights so that when we click on the scales, those weights are going to come up for us. So what we're going to do is next to beetroot, we're going to just put our cursor there and we're going to click ingredients. And we're just going to find the beetroot in the list, which is right at the top. Select that, and then you'll see that populates up here in our step. One good way to know that it's a guided step is that it's got that green underline, so you know that that is a guided weight or step. So then we're just going to delete that original beetroot word. And then we're going to do the same for cucumber. We'll just put the cursor there, find that there. And we'll get rid of that one. And cream cheese, same thing. So you'll see it's pretty simple. You just need to remember to remove the original word, and you've got the underlined ones there. So that's all our weighted things at the moment. And then what we want to do is here where it's got the actual function. So we want to mix this on speed 5 for 40 to 60 seconds. So what we're going to do is put the cursor at the start of that instruction. And we're going to go to the cooking settings. And we want to go 40 seconds and select speed 5. Push the tick. We don't need temperature, obviously. And then again, we'll get rid of that and we'll leave the until well combined. And we push a tick, and that is that step done. And for this recipe, that's actually the entire recipe converted. We just want to go to the top and push confirm. You can change your image. You can rename it something else if you like. You could add different ingredients, and you can also add extra steps. But that is the basics of it. It's actually very, very simple, as well as being able to add all your hints and tips in at the bottom there.
That's excellent. Thank you for sharing, Hayley. So that is how we import a recipe from the recipe community. So the next option that you have in terms of altering an existing Cookidoo recipe is actually going to be shown to us by Lisa. This is a way to personalize those existing Cookidoo recipes. So we all have them, those recipes that we follow, but we do our own little steps to make them even more awesome. You may feel, this recipe has too much sugar, or you change the ingredients, or you alter the steps just slightly. And this is amazing because instead of trying to remember each time, you're actually going to be able to personalize that Cookidoo recipe to really make it your own. So let's go over to Lisa. So Lisa, how long have you been with Thermomix?
So my baby started crying just as you started
Always
talking.
the way.
I have been a consultant for 2.5 years-ish. Yep.
Almost 3 years, actually.
There you go.
In August.
Odette was the one who signed me up. So
I twisted her rubber arm. Yep.
And yeah, a team leader for 18 months, maybe a little bit longer. Yeah, time flies when you're having fun. I don't remember how long exactly.
It sure does. Excellent. So you like to adapt recipes from Cookidoo, don't you, Lisa?
Yeah, and I'll be honest, I just do them from memory. Tonight I am going to do one that we do all the time, but this is not something that I've done a heck of a lot of, so I'll be able to show you how easy it is even if you haven't done it a lot yourself. So let me share screen. So this is obviously my Cookidoo. I've popped the recipe I want to do into my week. So today I'm going to do the creamy tomato and salami fettuccine, also known as the pasta, if you know. I am going to, let me just, I need to move my little thing out the way so it is out of the way. So I'm just going to go to add here and then add to created recipes, and it's going to bring it up with all the information to be able to edit. So the first thing I'm going to do is actually change the name a little bit. So I'm just going to put pasta. We very rarely use fettuccine. And we just use whatever pasta we've got. So I will just confirm that one. And then I'm actually going to go into the ingredients because this is one of the things that we change a lot of as well. So I'm going to, well, there you go. You just click on it and it lets you type.
We love learning all together. I love this, keeping it real.
We, for us, don't often have fresh herbs in our house. We just use dried. So what I'm going to do is completely blank that out and going to do, let me call it a sprinkle of dried herbs. There's no actual measurement because we don't do measurements very often in this house. There's going to be, I'm going to leave the veggies as they are because they do change a lot. We very rarely use exactly what it says, but I do kind of use the weights that are in those ones there and change it up. So I would do about 110 of something and about 100 of something else. So I'll leave them as is, and then.
So could you put 100 grams of zucchini cut into pieces or vegetable of choice?
Sure. Or, yeah. Yes, this is going to challenge my spelling skills too. With everyone watching. And then, yeah, so we'll leave, I might actually change this too and do approximately 110 grams of capsicum or vegetable of choice. There we go. So they're both the same now.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. So we don't do fresh tomatoes. We do a 400 gram tin of chopped tomatoes. The water is all good. We do a 200 grams of tinned, there we go, coconut cream. So we use this recipe as like a pantry staple. It's generally things that we have in our pantry or our cupboard. Obviously, I'm going to change this to pasta, and we don't need to break it because you're just going to pop your pasta pieces in, and then salami or chorizo. So that is all good. And then what we want to do is jump over to the preparation steps. So the things that I have changed, this is where I'm gonna, so we'll delete out the, Odette's gonna help me out.
Good.
Delete the fresh parsley.
So put your cursor in front of the fresh parsley and then press the weighing symbol, the scales.
Yeah.
And then put the sprinkle of dried herbs. And then
Cool.
Once you've got that in, then take out the fresh parsley.
Perfect. I need to move all the little faces out of the way.
Yeah.
So we actually will still do the chopping for the onion and the garlic, but the herbs obviously don't need chopping, but I do still pop them in at that point. So we'll leave that there. And then again, so we changed that capsicum. So we will do this one. Yeah. And then delete out the red capsicum. And obviously this is something that I do automatically myself. I don't necessarily need this for me, but this is going to mean that if I want my husband or my kids to be able to do it, it's going to be easier for them as well, because they're not going to have to ask me all the questions that I automatically know. So pop that
And that is one of the great things about Cookidoo, is that you can be, at the grocery store and you can just send the recipe to your weekly planner, to your day, which we'll talk about a little bit later. And then your partner at home can actually turn on that Thermomix and start cooking, so that when you get home, there's a delicious hot cooked meal on the table. Yeah. A girl can dream, right?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can ask. It's not unusual in this house for it to happen. All right, so we've changed the fresh tomatoes to that tin of chopped tomatoes. We're going to do the cream to, scroll too far, coconut cream, and delete that cream out. So like Hayley was saying, where she's adding in the ingredient and then you've got to delete out the word, same here. Just want to make sure that you're deleting out the ingredient that was already there. And then also we want to pop in the pasta.
And similarly, if you were going to change the chopping time, like you wanted to change it from 10 seconds to 3 seconds, you just go in before that instruction, click on the little blade cursor, and you just adjust it and then delete that initial instruction. So it seems the first couple of times you do it, you go, wow, this is a lot. But once you've done a few, it actually becomes really second nature, and you kind of just get in there and do it. And it is easier and quicker every single time you do it.
Yeah. And I would say that if you've done Cookidoo recipes before as well, and you kind of know the process of how the steps are set out, that it's pretty easy, especially for the adapting the Cookidoo ones. Yeah. So I've adjusted everything that I want to. So I'm just going to confirm. You can change the picture if you want to. So if you've made the recipe heaps and you want to pop one of your own pictures there, you can do that as well. Obviously, you can edit the name, and then I'm just going to go done, because that's all done. And then now it is ready for me to jump on my machine, and it is there.
Fantastic. Thank you for sharing, Lisa. So I'll just stop your sharing. So now you've seen importing a recipe from the recipe community, and you've also seen taking an existing Cookidoo recipe and actually adapting it. So now let's talk about creating recipes. This is for the creative cooks out there, or those people who have those special family recipes that you have that have been handed down from generation to generation, that you're currently just cooking manually using your Thermomix. They're the ones that are really close to your heart. So these are my favorite recipes to actually pop into the Cookidoo 3.0, because then you have them there, and it's not just you who can cook them. Your whole family or your friends can hop on your Thermomix and cook them. So Alicia is actually going to show us this. So Alicia just had a Matariki cooking class at Thermomix head office. And this is actually one of the recipes that she uploaded to her Cookidoo 3.0. And she's going to take you step by step through what that looks like. Once she's done it, she's also going to take us to her Thermomix, and she'll show you where to access these created recipes on your Thermomix. So Alicia, how long have you been with the business?
Hello, I just went back through my messages to find when I signed up again, and it's like a few days out from a year now. I can't believe it's been a year already.
Your anniversary.
Yeah, so been a consultant for a year and then a team leader for about 6 months in East Auckland.
Fantastic. So Alicia, before you do that, I'm just going to say, Susan, yes, you can separate the weight ingredients out into separate steps, but you don't have to. It's up to you.
I'm going to show through that as well.
Yeah, Alicia will show you that as well. So let's have a look.
Oh, so I'm going to share my screen with you guys. Just a second. Cool. Can you see my screen? No, hang on. Might help if you click share rather than the exit button.
Go.
Right, a blue screen.
Yes, we can see it.
I'm just going to move my stuff around. Right, where are we? This one here. So like Susan had just said, I love the recipes that are on Cookidoo already. So I love that step-by-step cooking. And when Cookidoo 3.0 came out, everything was kind of bundled together, and I found it not very helpful to do step-by-step cooking. But now, as they've done a few updates, you can do that. And that's what I've done with my recipe. So when you go and create your own recipe, I would prefer to do it on a computer. You can do it on your phone as well, but I just find with all the little things that you're writing in, it's a lot easier to do it on a computer. So if you go to the main page, you go up here to my recipes. You can see this okay, everyone? Yep.
We sure can. Yep.
Okay, perfect. And then you go into created recipes, and you go right down the bottom here. Oh, it actually shows up that little plus button in the corner, and we're going to create a recipe. So I'm going to call this steamed pudding. So this is the steamed pudding that you get in Hangi, and I've just adapted it so that you can do it in a Thermomix.
I've tasted this pudding. It is absolutely delicious.
Thank you. Okay, so then you upload an image if you've got one. You don't have to have one, but I'll just add one in here. So my steamed pudding one. And you can crop it if you want to, but we'll just leave it like that. Takes
so Hayley's saying she thinks you should share it, the recipe. It is actually on the recipe.
It's on Recipe Community.
Yeah,
so
we'll put the link in for you once Alicia's done.
Yeah, and I was kind enough that I put it onto Recipe Community first, and then imported it here, and then changed it all on, which is a very backwards way to do it, but I wanted to make sure that everyone could have it. So here are some options where you can add in what devices. So if you're using a TM5, if it's for a recipe for a TM5 or TM6, add the preparation time. So the time it takes me to make this is 5 minutes. And then the total time is 1 hour and 45 minutes. So pop that in, and it was 8 portions.
I guess it depends how much you like the pudding, right? How many portions?
Yeah, one portion. I love that. So the first thing you want to put in are your ingredients. So you're going to add your ingredients list. And so first thing is 125 grams of butter. Oh, and then tick. The next one, so you can do it like write it in, tick, or you can add a couple here if you know you're going to have a few. So 60 grams of sugar. Oh my gosh, how is it when you've got like 80 people watching you can't type?
It's always the way. While you're adding those ingredients, yes, Charlene, created recipes, you can only import recipes that you actually have the rights to. So you can't use recipes that come from cookbooks that, we don't have permission. So it's a copyright thing. So that's why we're saying only the Recipe Community, adapting existing Cookidoo recipes, or recipes that really are your recipe, family recipes, or things like that. So definitely we are very mindful of copyright.
So yogurt, and then 90 grams of golden syrup, measure 1, and you be very specific in your ingredients as well. So I've got 2 lots of golden syrup. Measure 2, and then liter of water for the end. Cool. Right, so those are all of my ingredients. And then the next thing that I'm going to do is add my first step. So how Odette was talking to you before, Suzanne, where you want it step by step. This is where I'm very like, you only have to do it once, but be very specific in your singular description, so that will be the only writing that comes up on the screen. So the first thing I will do is add, and then I click onto the ingredients, and I'll add 125 grams of butter, and so that will be one slide on your screen. So then I go to the next one, add 60 grams of sugar. Sugar. Oh, sorry, no, I've done that wrong. So you
Making
click on
sure
your
we-
ingredients, and so the reason why you want to click on the ingredients is that you want to be able to link it to the scales once you have your recipe good to go. And then so the next one is I want to do a setting in the machine, so I'm going to do 30 seconds, and I'm going to do that on speed 4. And if you needed to do reverse, there's the reverse button right down the bottom, or just do it on normal. I'm going to add something else in here that's not actually in the recipe because I've already got this recipe in here. But say I want to put on mix on dough mode, just to remind you that it's there. So I want to show you when I get to my machine how you can access, like it will trigger you to remind you to access that mode. Right, what else can I put in there? I don't want to do the full recipe because it's like 9
Yeah.
actually. If I drag this over here, this is the full.
Yep.
Once I've gone through all of the ingredients, so I've added in all of the steps, and then the same thing with the time that I want to use it. So time, the temperature, and the speed. And then I've just popped in some tips in there. So once you've done that, you click on done. So there's my 2 stemmed puddings. So now what I'm going to do is I am going to mute you. Actually, I won't need to mute you. If you want to spotlight my other phone.
Yeah. So what I'm going to do, Alicia, is I'm going to stop your screen share, and then Alicia's actually going to take her other device over, and she's going to take it to her Thermomix so that she can show you what the instructions look like on the screen of her Thermomix. How do you know which modes to use for each ingredient? So Michelle, this will be part of that recipe, right? So when you have a look at your basics cookbook, which is at the back of your basics cookbook, there are actually some guidelines for, how long do you chop carrots if you want them to be grated? How long and what speed do you use to grind coffee beans? So it is practice, but you can use those guidelines that are actually in your basics cookbook. Another great resource for learning things like that is actually your Thermomix consultant, because they tend to be a little bit more experienced with that. So if you're not sure and you've got a recipe and you're like, I'd really like to adapt this for my Thermomix and for Cookidoo 3.0, but I'm not really sure how to do it, give your consultant a call and actually get them to help you, because they are a wealth of information and they actually love doing stuff like that.
Alicia,
So
I've got some technical difficulties.
very blurry.
It is. So what I'm going to do is
Alicia, take off your background.
Oh, that's what it is. Thank you. I was like, why is this not
Yeah.
Hang on, backgrounds and effects. Thank you.
Yeah, there you go.
Right,
Jodine, I knew there was a reason we keep you around.
Jodine, you are a master.
You're
I was like, oh my God, have I broken my camera?
So Alicia, can you go back home and show everybody?
Okay, so I've got my screen here, and I'm going to go into my recipes and then my own created recipes. And there, as you can see, both of those recipes that I've created are here. So this one is the original, which is the full recipe. And you start cooking. Cool. So when you click into it, and how I said I've done the steps one by one, so I'm not going to have multiple ingredients. I've got just one ingredient per slide, and so you can click on the ingredient and then it takes you directly to your scales to be able to measure it out. So say we've popped in our butter. Oh, next, go there. We've popped in our sugar. Next, we're going to click into our speed. So this here, so say if on that other one, how I had said go put on dough mode. So I would click on, if you put your 30 seconds for how long you want to do it for, and then you go up here to mode, and there you can access all of your modes within the recipe, which means you don't get kicked out of the recipe if you need to put it onto dough mode or to thicken or rice cooker, etc.
And this is a question that Gemma actually asked. She said, how do I use those modes in the recipe?
Right.
And that's how, Gemma, you actually press on that speed, and then right up the top, modes, and that means you can actually use them in the
Go on
recipe.
it.
This is a fairly recent addition to Cookidoo 3.0.
Yeah.
Very exciting, and that's the great thing about Cookidoo, is that it keeps getting better all the time. We are getting new exciting things being added.
Yeah, so this is, just follow the recipes like you would with guided cooking. Of course, if anything doesn't look right when you get it to your machine, you can easily go back either on your phone or on the computer and edit the recipe on those platforms as well, so that it reads a bit better. But yeah, so anywhere that it's underlined, you've attached an ingredient to what you've written here. Where it's underlined, that's where you can go into your scales, and then for the mixing it, where you want to actually go onto the dials, which is there. Oh no, sorry guys, it's very hard to multitask, hold a phone and
I know, you're doing very well.
Then it takes you to your screen, and then you can also change that as well. So once you get to that mode, you can and it still shows the nice green highlight of where you need to go if you've preset it in at that speed. Cool.
Fantastic. That's great, Alicia. What I'll get you to do is, while Jodine's talking about the weekly plan and the meal planning, I'm actually going to get you to share the link to your recipe community recipe, because I think there's a lot of people out there who really, really want to make your steamed pudding. So Jodine, before we move on to Jodine, just saying again, guys, copyright, really, really important, that we want to respect people who do release those cookbooks. And so we definitely don't want to upload anything that you do not have permission to upload. It's very important. So the final thing is going to be revisiting the weekly planner and the shopping list function on Cookidoo. It's not a new feature. We've had it for a while, but it is one that you absolutely do want to be utilizing. And Jodine is actually going to show us how to do that. So Jodine, how long have you been part of our Thermomix family?
I had to actually go and look it up as well. So it is 2 years in September.
Oh,
So
I love it. We have to have a big party for all these thermoversaries.
Absolutely. And a team leader since March last year. So yeah, been here for a while. But I absolutely love Cookidoo, like the rest of everybody. And I only ever use guided cooking, or the ones that I've put in. I'm really, really lazy. So I don't actually want to, I don't know, just the manual stuff, it's just too hard. So I just use guided cooking, and I can search a recipe for just about everything. So I'm going to share screen, and I'm going to find my Cookidoo screen. Hopefully you guys can see that there.
We sure can.
So if you don't get it, say in your name, please go into your profile and you can actually personalize. So you can change that to anything. It doesn't actually need to be your name. You could say, hey, sexy lady, what would you like to cook
that
today?
could really be a positive affirmation first thing in the morning. Hey, gorgeous.
Absolutely. Or maybe something else. If I'm using the Cookidoo, if I'm using the Thermomix too much, maybe I could say, hey, do you really need this? What would you like to cook? So yeah. But what I do when I am planning my week, I sit down on a Sunday night, usually in front of the computer. And a lot of the times now, I don't actually leave the front screen of Cookidoo, because if you scroll down, you can go through all of the latest recipes, and I can usually find at least 2 meals in some of these ones. If we go on to the see more, it brings up all of the latest ones that people that have been added. So I'm going to grab a couple from here. I'm going to do a 2-ingredient dough. And the easiest thing is, instead of clicking actually on the recipe, if I think, yep, I'm definitely going to make that, I'll do it straight from the screen, and I will click on cook, and I will add to my week. I will go through and I will put that on Sunday, and then save. I don't usually add straight to my shopping list from here. I'll show you when I do that, but you can click again and add to shopping list straight away. But I usually go through and choose all my recipes first. So I'm just going to go down, and that turmeric chicken looks good too. So let's add that one on to Monday. My husband does a lot of the cooking, so he just has a look on the screen to find out what I've chosen, and usually knows that everything is in the cupboards. So yeah, it makes it easier for me as well. So then if we go back and explore, takes me back to that front page, I can also go down and have a look at the most cooked. So that means that more people, lots of people are choosing these from there. Sorry, that was my phone that rang. Choosing these, so they come up as the most cooked recipes. So this roast beef with Yorkshires and gravy, absolutely amazing. And I'm just going to have a look because I'm not sure whether we have got all of the ingredients. So I clicked on it, having a look down, thinking, yeah, have a look, see what's there. Also, I have a look at how long it's going to take me because I said I was lazy. So there is a preparation time of 15 minutes. I like these kinds of recipes. I don't really mind about the total time because that means it's cook time or sit time. It's actually not my time that I have to spend doing it. So that one looks really good, and I'm going to do that on not cook today. It's going to go on cook today. I'm going to add it to my week, and I'm going to do that actually on, where are we? Saturday night, and then save. So you can continue going through. You can put all of your recipes on there, so you can do breakfast, lunch and dinner and have them all stacked up. And then once you've finished, you go on to my week, which is at the top. And it will bring them up. Now, there are two views that you can actually have. There is this one that lists them down, and then there is also one that puts them with a little bit bigger picture. So you choose what you would actually like to have it. I usually have it on the list one here, and then it shows me in a day and sort of in a week. And if I go across to next week, because this is where we put some of those things, they're already there. They will also be onto my week on my Thermomix when my husband looks at it to cook it for me. And from here, I can actually add to the shopping list. Oh, this one I can't. I need to go into the other view. So if I went to Saturday, and these are the 3, Saturday, Sunday, I can add all of those to my shopping list, I think. Let's see if I've done that right. So then I know I've got everything on the shopping list for those meals. I can come up here and it's put the 2 dough and the cheesy scrolls. Oh yes, it's put Sunday, sorry, it hasn't put Saturday. I can then go back and say I'm going to add that one as well to my shopping list. And let's go ahead and put Monday as well. So it depends whether you do your shopping all in one shopping list or whether you want to do it broken up over littler shops as well. We will go back up to the shopping list, and then it's listing all of my meals that I've got on there. Then I go to show ingredients. Now there are 2 views here as well by recipes. It will tell you what you need for each recipe, or by category, and it's by the categories in your shopping cart. So, or whatever is in the baking aisle, what's in the beverages. From this, I will go through my cupboard, and this is how I save the money to make sure that I'm not overbuying. If I've already got the ingredients, I can take them off. And obviously I've already got the water, so I straight away click in the box to take that off. I will go through there. My staples that I've always got, so I've always got the plain flour or the self-raising flour. If I need some more, I will actually leave them on the list. And then when I transfer it over to Countdown, it will actually, I'll just buy a whole bag. So it doesn't matter that it's just saying 170 grams, it will just be my reminder that I actually need to buy those flours. But I'm going to take those off today because I don't need those. Also got the coconut oil and the vegetable oil. So I will go all the way through, check what I've already got, because we want to be utilising what we've got. And I'm also just going to pop back, and if we explore the recipes as well, if at the end of the week I have got a carrot and some chicken and maybe an onion in my fridge, and the carrot's looking quite sad, the onion definitely is sprouting, and the chicken needs eating, put in your ingredients that you've got and then press search. And this is actually going to find recipes that have those 3 ingredients in them, so you can utilize all the food in your fridge and not go shopping before you need to. So again, way to save money. So we're going to add in all the chicken katsu curry with rice, because I know I've got the rice as a staple. So I'm going to add that to my week as well and put that on for Wednesday. Save. Go back to, where are we? Go back to my week, and I can scroll down and then I can add that one to my shopping list. So obviously when I go through my shopping list now, I'm going to need to take those carrots, those very sad carrots, and the onion back off. From here, you've got the fantastic opportunity of going directly through to Countdown Online Shopping. On my computer, I cannot do that. I need to go onto the app on my phone and then transfer to Countdown Online Shopping. So it is another step, but usually I will go and do a share, and I will share my list, copy it here, and then I will go into my email and send it to myself or to my husband or into Messenger and send it on Messenger. And I'm just going to, I'm not sure whether it will let me change the screen.
Now, Alicia said to remind you as well that you can add extra stuff to your shopping list, things like toilet paper or washing powder or whatever you want. So I'll get you to show them where we can do that.
So we can go down to the bottom. You've taken everything else off, but the additional items are here. So if I put down toilet paper, if I spelt it right, it might be better. Otherwise, if you transfer it and it's not spelt right, Countdown Online Shopping may not be able to actually find it either.
Confused.
So we're going to add that one through. If you click on something and you think, oh, actually, I haven't got that, you'll find that everything you've taken off is down the bottom in the items that you have. So if you think, oh, actually, I'm out of vegetable oil now, I can click that back on and it's put it back on up onto the list. The transfer of ingredients works on your created recipes. So you can then go back to my recipes and I can go into my created recipes. You can all see the bad stuff that's in my created recipes.
Yum.
And say my cheese chili scrolls, which were already on the list, or Steve-O's custard that he makes all the time. And those ingredients will also come onto your shopping list. So a little bit of a quick way of going through and doing your meal planning, save money by utilizing everything that's in your cupboards and in your fridge. And if it is too sad to use, like the, I'm going to stop sharing. If it's too sad to use, like the carrots and things, pop them into the freezer and use them for your vegetable stock paste when you need vegetable stock paste again as well.
Excellent. Fantastic. Thank you for sharing, Jodine. So to sum up, Cookidoo 3.0 is a pretty amazing tool, and it will help you get the most out of your new TM6. I always say, like, using a Thermomix without Cookidoo is kind of like using your smartphone with no apps. So it is there to enhance the experience. Everybody is entitled to 30 days free access to Cookidoo, whether you own a Thermomix or not. So if you're on here and you don't yet have a Thermomix, please go and sign up at cookidoo.com.au and have 30 days just to have a look around. When you purchase a TM6, you get 6 months subscription to Cookidoo. And after that, the Cookidoo subscription is only 69 Australian dollars a year. That is only $1.33 if my maths is good, to have access to over 80,000 recipes and more recipes being added all the time and more functionality being added all the time. So we do have a very special gift with purchase in July. For the first time, we've never actually offered this before, but for the first time, when you purchase a TM6, you will get not only 6-month subscription to Cookidoo, you get 18 months. So we get you a bonus 12 months added to your Cookidoo. And that is value, obviously, of 69 Australian dollars. So yeah, great value. We have been also referring our customers to the Cookidoo 3.0 blog on our New Zealand Thermomix website. This is where you can discover any up-to-date information from Thermomix and Furvak, our manufacturer, and you just go through the Thermomix website. There are also some tutorial videos, and there's a visual guide so that you can use this platform in that new space on Cookidoo. So as I said, the biggest, the biggest help you have when it comes to Cookidoo 3.0 is actually your consultant. They are happy to come and help you with Cookidoo 3.0. They will help you convert some of your favorite recipes. They'll help you to import recipes from the recipe community or from Cookidoo, and they can do that either in person or they can do it virtually as well. So if you feel like you need a bit of support, then just reach out to your consultant and they will be more than happy to help you. Now, I am at this point going to open up some breakout rooms. And if you want to go into a breakout room and you do want to ask some questions, then please hop in there. My consultants and my team leaders, they're pretty amazing, but sometimes they don't know everything. So if they're not sure, they can actually raise their hand and I will hop in there to help them out. Thank you so much for hopping onto the Cookidoo 3.0 session tonight. I hope it was of service to you. There will be a recording and I will share that, the link to the recording. And you'll be able to access that again. So have an amazing evening. Hop into a breakout room if you want to ask some questions, and we'll see you again soon. So I'm just going to make sure that there's actually a team leader in every breakout room. So don't run away, team leaders, because I really need you. So Alicia's going to room 1. Haley, I'm going to put you in room 4. Go. Excellent.
Hey, I've got a customer on tonight, Megan Garland.
Yes.
Do you want to pop me in? And also she has got 2 other people on with her.
Oh, excellent. So let me put you guys, I'm going to just open, how do I add a room? Can I add a room? So at the moment, let me find a room for you. What's the best way for me to do that? I will put you in room, I'm actually going to put you in room 1, Carol, because there's only a couple of people in there. So who did you want? So Megan,
Megan Garland.
Who else? Yeah.
She had Tracy and she had
Tracy Brandy, yeah. And who else?
Hold on, it's Shelley or something. So she got Shelley and Tracy.
Okay, let me, oh, there we go. I found them. Shelley's already in there. Okay, I'm putting you in room 1.
You can stop recording too, Odette.
Oh, that's a fantastic